There are so many things about pie making to me that are magical. It's visually stunning and it's so aromatic, and then it's very tactile. Making pie dough and rolling it out, you can't really experience on a sensory level what it's like to make a pie without doing it by hand. All of the ingredients go from being something very simple and separate and individual to creating this really wonderful final product that is something completely different. Pie is old and it's new again. It's humble, but it's elegant. I mean, I knew when I was 4 years old standing on a chair in the kitchen that all I ever wanted to do was bake. I didn't, you know, I went to college to be a designer and I love that too, but it's all a form of expression. And when I think about it now, and I let myself think about it, I recognize that really what I wanted to do always was bake. A lot of what I love about being in the kitchen and what I love about baking, I actually love to cook, I'm just better at baking, is the atmosphere and the ambiance that it creates. Something about my memories as a child of what it was like to be in the kitchen and cooking, and when we would have, my mother would entertain, we'd have dinner parties, what it felt like to be a young person in a household of really happy people where my mother had made a great meal, the smells and the sounds. When my grandmother's father would go up into the hills as a miner, you know, everything he took with him was in some sort of a crust. And so, you know, very humble beginnings to something as elegant as what you see us produce on a daily basis here. I was most afraid of making pie. I found pie to be the most challenging because then I basically had to be the best pie maker, you know, in most people's opinion. And to accomplish that, I just set my mind to it. It took a lot of testing though, many mistakes. Every step along the way was scary because we didn't have a financial safety net, and we just kept taking it was one step at a time. And every time we took a step, it got harder to say, well, we could turn back any time now, because as you invest more of yourself and invest more financially, you start to recognize that at one point you can't turn back any longer. More than anything, it was survival. I mean, you know, we had invested ourselves emotionally and financially in this idea. You're sort of putting yourself out there, and these pies they're little pieces of me. And so it actually was something that was hard to do, to take a compliment when I get it, and then to take someone's constructive feedback and do something with that too. When someone walks into I Like Pie, the feeling that they have is the same feeling that they would have if they were in my kitchen at home, because this is exactly how I would want you to feel. And that was really at the very outset of the concept behind I Like Pie. I knew that was how it had to feel, because it is about, again, it is about how I want people to feel when I make something for them, and it's about the sights and the sounds and the smells. And so the first thing that people should feel as they walk through the door is if they were walking into my kitchen. It's everything from the way that the lighting is vintage style lighting, to the paneling on the walls, to the subway tile, to the smile on the faces of my employees. They genuinely feel welcomed, our guests do. And then there's this wonderful smell that emanates from the kitchen every day. And depending on what time of year it is, the smells are different. So right now it's strawberry rhubarb, in the fall it's pumpkin, and in the winter it's sweet potato. And these beautiful little packages that, you know, people ooh and ah over, and they walk in, and sometimes it's a few minutes before they can even look up to have the conversation. So visually it's stunning.
I like pie, I like cakes, I like anything you bake.
I had no idea what it would be like to put something together like the festival. The town of Claremont, I fell in love with it the first time that I drove through it. You know, the people here are wonderful. That experience of baking and sharing and comparing, and that used to be such a huge part of small communities. And I thought I think what it brought to the community was really special, and it's not something that you experience anymore. So a pie festival, it's kind of an old-fashioned idea, and for a town like Claremont that is both old and new all at the same time, and edgy and bohemian and just so many things all together, I could just picture it. When it comes down to it, the most basic things I do when I stand in the kitchen and roll out the dough, it's the same way that everybody's done it for so many years. It is a connection to the past, and it helps to connect people today and young people today with, a part of our past that I think maybe is kind of a forgotten art in some ways. And so people are revisiting that and recognizing again how beautiful and wonderful and magical pie can be.